comments that we've borrowed 50 billion and what have we used the money for. You would recall that the last time that was mentioned, we corrected that the impression is being created as though Ghana's debt stock has gone up by about 50 billion. That is not correct. Our last debt numbers were about 159 billion. If you compare it to what we inherited, 122 billion, that's a growth of about 37 billion in our debt stock. But we have always mentioned that when it comes to debt analysis, you look at two things. You look at the debt stock, and then you look at what we call the debt sustainability, or the debt-to-GDP ratio. So when it was at 122 billion, our debt-to-GDP ratio was somewhere around 73%, about 73% of GDP. Admittedly, it has gone up to about 159, but because of what we've succeeded in doing with the extra liquidity that has come into the system, if you compare it now, our debt-to-GDP ratio rather has dropped. The last time it was checked to about 65% thereabout. And so you don't just look at the raw numbers. We always make the point that if I owe 100 million and he owes 100 million, it's not the same thing. If you compare his 100 million to his productivity and his asset size and his ability to repay, and you compare my 100 million to my productivity and asset size and my ability to repay, then you can determine whose debt is reaching unsustainable levels. So I think the general understanding is that today our debt to GDP ratio is coming down. And some of the numbers have been bandied about. You can put it in context. But we will get the latest update when the Honorable Finance Minister speaks to us.